damn drummer's taking up the entire room. Look at that. No room in here whatsoever. Wait, that's my drum kit. Alright, so I got an interesting thing for you today. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. First I must grab a flying V. Try not to knock him over down here. Very tight. Very tight space. Okay, so got two guitars here. But I need these guitars in the way because I have to make a point. Dave Mustaine was saying, now maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong, that standard tuning, drop tuning your guitar was kind of pointless. Like he was basically saying, why drop tune your guitar instead of just buy a 7-string? You know, because you're losing out. What he's saying is you're losing out on all the highs. Losing out on all those high notes, right? And he's right. If you down tune your guitar, you're going to lose out on the high notes. Okay, so if you think about how Dave Mustaine plays, which he's an awesome guitar player, obviously. So he, right, all that stuff, and then there's a lot of whatever, all that high soloing stuff. And he's what you'd call probably like a 50-50 player, where he plays the guitar solo about as much as he's playing the rhythm, right? And he's from an era of guitar players that actually used to put a lot of effort into their guitar solos. He still does, obviously. But you take like from the 90s on, the grunge movement, right? Pretty much the death of the guitar solo. So there's only really, I mean, there's a lot of really great lead guitars played that, but even in modern metal, there's really not that many guitar solos, you know, like there used to be. So a lot of guys choose to get a heavier sounding guitar by down tuning them. Yeah, going to the 7-string, which I'll demonstrate here. So I'm going to play the, let's say the B. Pretty heavy. I'll see if I can make it even heavier. Like an F sharp. That's pretty heavy in standard tuning. Still staying in standard tuning. To make Dave's kind of point that if you wanted heavier, go to the 7-string. So same chords, got a little bit of a wash out there. So that extra inch of going from 25.5-inch scale down to 26-inch scale, definitely heavier. And yet you can still keep the right, so you can still keep all those great guitar solo stuff. Right, and still keep the do it in even. Weather's kind of wacky, guitar's a little attitude. That's what it sounds like playing it on the B string versus. It still sounds heavier, right? Even heavier when you go down one more string. So he's right on that. Is you can get heavier. But what about down tuning a 6-string? Not everybody can just have a 6-string and a 7-string. Well, I got the solution for you. Sort of. A 6-string guitar down tuned to drop C. Pretty heavy, right? So, love drop C. It's one of my favorite tunings. But what happens if I got to do a guitar solo? suddenly I'm 2 steps down, right? So even with the 7-string in standard tuning, it still sounded heavier, but when I went to do the solo, it was closer to, even though with the shorter scale length on the Jackson there, and you're still pretty close, so you could still do all the crazy solos. It's just the 7 strings a little bit larger spacing, so it's a little more work to play, and the string tension's a little heavier. But otherwise, you get the best of both worlds, right? So you get that heavier, and I've already compared like drop C 6-string tuning with 25.5 scale versus a 7-string in standard tuning, and the 7 string is always going to be heavier, even in standard tuning. Now, that said, you could still drop tune that thing too, and a lot of guys do. But Dave is right on that. His delivery might be a little bit harsh, but he's right. So if I'm playing this, and then I want to do that. Now, if I want to play that, I've got to play everything 2 frets higher. Whatever, right? So that has 22 frets on it. I'll just do something just so you can hear that drop tuning, what you're losing. Okay, hold that sound in your head. Exact same thing. To basically playing the same position, but that's what you're losing. So you can hear that, how much higher that is, right? But how could you get it so that you would have the even better than both worlds? Well, if you had 2 guitar players in the band, keep the lead guitar player guy at the standard tuning so he can do all the crazy stuff. Right, whatever he's got to do, and then have the other guitar player with either a drop tune guitar, whatever, right? So the other guy could do all the leads, and on the heavy voicings, the rhythm guitar player can basically cover all the heavy end. Now, if you want like the triple bass, okay, gotta wrap this up. You'd have one guy in drop tuning on the 6-string, one guy in standard tuning, and then that, and a guy, and yeah. So you. So the voicings are going to sound a little bit different on the extended range guitar. So the good news about that is you could have the extended range guitar in standard tuning or drop tuning as the rhythm guitar, and that guy kind of just either does the harmony or the voicings or whatever, and just really focuses on the driving, pounding rhythm. And then the other guy can do the Dave Mustaine type leads in the standard tuning, giving all the sharpness, the snappiness, and everything. So that's my take. But if you can only do one guitar player, the 7-string might be the answer for you. It's just you might have to work a little harder for your guitar solos and fast picking because of the slightly heavier string tension. So anyway, yeah, tell me what you guys think about it. Do you think Dave Mustaine is right, wrong? I like Dave Mustaine, but I never met the guy, but I think he made an interesting statement. He does make some bizarre statements sometimes, but he was right about the register, that you will lose out on the high-end register if you do guitar solos. Now, if you never do guitar solos, then drop tuning won't make sense. But drop tuned 25.5 or 24 3/4 scale guitar will never sound as heavy as a standard tuned 7 or 8 string guitar. Just so you know. All right, there you go.